With the completion of the presidential primary elections of political parties in the country and the emergence of presidential candidates, analysts are concerned about the style of leadership of the next president, particularly in relation to the economy. Also, it is believed that getting the right personnel to advise whosoever emerges as president on how to move Nigeria from its current economic situation should be one of the major concerns of the presidential candidates. On this special edition of Today's Life on the June 12 show, we shall discuss some of the presidential candidates, their agenda, and the way forward for Nigeria. My name is Joyce Yakwari. Joining me in the studio to do this week is Sambo Solomon Sabi. Sambo.
Happy Democracy Day.
Happy Democracy Day to you.
Yes, looking great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Also joining us to discuss this topic today is a guest in person of Honorable Ezekiel Dalhatu, who is the Commissioner of Public Complaints Commission, FCT Abuja. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So let's get the train moving. So I would like to set the discussion rolling. I would like to ask this very first question. Out of the 16 parties, there's 16 presidential candidates. I think we only have few popular ones that we know, that Nigerians know, and I can even call them, name them on one hand, and it will not even complete my 10 fingers. Do you think this is a problem of maybe the parties, or is more like the problem or ignorance of the public, that's voters' education now?
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I think this is like for the third time or so. And actually, this is the atmosphere we are in now, the atmosphere of politics, and it's actually in line with Ecclesiastes that says that it's time for everything. And the time now that is so ripe, I'm glad the parties have come up with their presidential candidates. And just like you said, you can, at the close of your eye, just mention the three candidates.
Or maybe four.
Maybe four, probably. What's the issue? What's the factor responsible for this? Yes, one of the factors is the environment that we are in. And the environment is that of Nigeria, where, except now, people feel you are free to actually come and express yourself, either as a voter or as someone who wants to contest. I still mention it that it's the environment because of the kind of impression we have given over the time. You will also remember that recently, even the people who are in PDP or APC, at the time, if you leave the PDP to APC, it's just as if you have backslided. And then if somebody wants to even go out either from APC or PDP to go and have a new kind of political party, you are seen as one prodigal or an outcast, somebody who is really looking so stubborn and you want to cause problem. So the environment, the expression, the impression we have created over the political players have created over the time have actually, I see it as being responsible for this. But recently you could see people going out to really express themselves irrespective of whose us is God. And then they will have, you will hear a lot of talk, a lot of issues, but then they are very, very stubborn in sticking to what they believe on. So I think why we are having this limited number is actually the impression we have had over time. But thank God that jinx is being broken, and then we're having a lot of people coming out to really wanting to contest with so much confidence.
Okay. When you say a lot of people are coming to contest, I know we have 18 political party, and then out of the 18, we have 16 that presented their own presidential candidate. But during the debate, you hear, since from primaries, you hear people saying even at the party level, you hear someone will say, yes, we know there are contenders and there are pretenders. So can we say is the same thing now that is shifting like from the party to even general what they are presenting to us? Because out of 16 now, like Joy said, with your palm now you can even count them and still have some of your fingers remaining. If you talk about the people that are out there, you call Tinubu, you call Atiku, you call Kwankwaso, and then Peter Obi, and then probably maybe Al-Mustafa. So can we say it's the same thing now that is playing? We are looking at some are just contenders and some are pretenders, or in the real sense they are out to contend? Because when you talk about that, people will start looking at structure. Yes, well, because it's easy when you talk about others that are there not in a popular party. You hear some people, their argument is that yes, we know they are reasonably they can go, but they don't have structure. So these are kind of a statement you hear out there.
Yeah, actually there are different narratives to what people hold as view and what they think it is. And then for people who have already tagged some other people to be pretenders, and then all of that, they still hold the right to express their opinion. But one thing I will tell you for free is that 2023 is pregnant, and it will spring up surprises. Why? Because people have come to damn the consequences of the norm as it used to be. The ritual, the normal ritual of, this person is already the winner. You could see that 2020 election is actually not that same narrative that we used to have. You will be shocked to now see that people are like in a dilemma. Like, you cannot just straitjacket to say, this is the person that will just win this election. And this is premised on the fact that the narrative have actually changed. The notion, the awareness, the voter awareness have actually changed. Just like I said, unlike before, one person in Kano State can boast of giving you all the votes you wanted. The factors are very simple because of the process then. Where one person will be in the room to write the result, and then maybe as a governor or as somebody who holds opinion or who holds a high level of position in the society. Unlike before, the whole local government, the people may be queuing on the line trying to vote, and then somebody somewhere is dishing out instruction and he stands. So that's why I said it's no longer business as usual. Number one factor is the process. The system have somewhat changed. You are now seeing INEC coming up with different kind of models to checkmate the malpractices and malpractices in the elections and all of that. So nobody with the beavers, the beavers now, where there's some form of regulations and control, 2023 will spring up several surprises, and I mean it. So for somebody you may think he's just a pretender, in your own opinion, you will be shocked that the person was a major contender. And then the person you think is a major contender, in your opinion, you may be shocked to see that he was just a pretender without any structure. Going back to talk about structure, nobody will wish away or with a wave of hand say, no, politically structure doesn't matter. No, it's not true. In politics, structure is a bane of it. You know why? Because, like I normally say, there is no powerful politician on earth, but there are powerful followers. At the moment any politician sees himself as demigod, sees himself so powerful, that is the beginning of his failure. So you can check records. The person started with the people at the grassroots, he's accessible, people talk to him, and the moment he climbed that camel, and then change the narrative to be us versus them, he's gone. And I can give you examples just because I'm on TV. Don't need to call names, but the examples are out there and you know it. And so why structure is important is because you as an individual, for instance, let me use the instance that because I'm in Plateau here now, in Jos, you are a governorship candidate and you stay in refuge, for instance. On the day of election, how many polling units will you be able to visit to ensure that your election is not tampered with? How many polling units? How many electoral wards will you go to ensure that people vote for you? How many local government do you have in Plateau?
How many agents will you set in?
If you have about 20 local government, how many local will you go around? So you will be in the comfort of your house, mostly in their parlor, because the security agencies will not even allow you as a candidate to be moving around. Yes. You have no business moving around. It's only the electoral umpires that are allowed to move around. So the person will be confided in his own room. But you have people in Mangu who have carried knife to kill themselves because of you. That is structure. So you have people who are the ones that are your foot soldiers to ensure that you actually get the votes. And after the vote, you will see people not going back to their houses. There are a particular group of persons who will stay there and say, come rain, come sunshine. Whatever it is, they will down the consequences to ensure that you are declared winner. And all these things that is happening, you are there in your house, sitting maybe with your Bible or Quran, praying fervently for success. But there are people that is what we call structure in politics. So if you don't have structure, forget it. Structure is the bane, is fundamental in politics, especially in Nigerian politics. But like in other world, it's still, even in America, structure is very fundamental. John Biden is a president today because he has the like of Hillary Clinton, he has the like of Obama, he has and so many other people at the local level, at the state level, and all of that. So that's a structure, and you can't just wish it away in politics. So for people who are contesting today, and maybe they hadn't no structure in the past, their antecedents, their popularity of the day must have put in place a structure for them to leverage on. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Yes. Because the structure can be consciously or unconsciously. Somebody will just sit and say, the way this guy is doing his presentation, no, I'm down, I'm okay with him. And in this, our locality, I will spend till my last kobo to ensure that I deliver him. You have gotten a structure that you have never seen before. And then when you have information, you have group of people somewhere who are rooting for you and all of that, and then try to connect with them and talk to them. So that you don't have structure yesterday and you are contesting today does not mean you will never have structure. It depends on your capability and what you can actually offer. But in a nutshell, structure is fundamental in politics.
And you know, most people confuse popularity of the party as being structure. If you ask them to define what structure is, they feel, okay, it's the popularity of the party. And if we are to mention some popular parties, it's either PDP or APC. But you know, Peter Obi is coming off from the NLC Labour Party, and I would like to quote him because he said something fundamental, and I feel if we go in line with that, we'll understand deeply what structure is, and even in killing that mentality of popularity of parties. He said, whenever I hear of no structure, my answer is to simply say the 100 Nigerians living under poverty will be the structure. The 35 million Nigerians youth who do not know where the next meal will come from will be structure. The elderly, the mothers, the fathers, the ones that are dying or being owed gratuity and pension will be structure. Now, even the students that are going through the ASU strike, you know, where you mobilize, that's a structure. If you look at most political parties, yes, I will give it to them. They've grown over time, especially the PDP and the APC. And I'm mentioning this because they are some of the two biggest, yes, in Nigeria, and because they've grown over time, where if you want to win an election, you have to join each one of the party. Then now we have the NLC coming up with Peter Obi, and he's saying this. Do you think with everything he said, it is fundamental in making the party popular, because people vote based on popularity of the party. You believe me that there are market women, or there are people that don't even know the individual that is the presidential candidate of that party, but they just vote because maybe it's an umbrella sign, or they vote maybe because it's the broom sign, or they vote based on let's choose between one of these. But if we have the party mobilizing the market women now, if we have the party mobilizing the students that are hit by the ASU strike, even the people that are within the poverty line, do you think there's a possibility of a party like that winning in Nigeria?
Anyway, there is that possibility. But to be frank with you and open to you, we are getting there. We are not yet there, but we are getting there. Aside having the popular vote or the popular opinion of the people on social media, on TV, and all of that, and then just like you said, that the pensioners who have been old pensioners are part of his structure. You will also know that you are not going to get that as a bunch of a figure, that whoever is a pensioner will automatically go and vote for Peter Obi. Because you have pensioners somewhere that their governor is ensuring that their pension is well paid, and as at when do. So such person will not go and vote a Peter Obi because he's a pensioner. The students that are at home as hit by the ASU strike, you will not also say the whole majority of them, or the entire number, will go and vote for a Peter Obi because they are mentioned as his structure. Yeah, I know what he's saying is very, very fact. When you come in a very strange political party, as a politician who knows what he's doing, you don't expect him to do otherwise than what he's saying. You must hold on to something to get the vote you want. And I think he's in line. He's actually saying it. But the caveat here is that is not enough. The structure we are talking about is not enough to have all of this. In politics, you have like 3 layers of instruction. You will have somebody in his family who will tell the entire voter at home and said, I know you people have been seeing you walking about, making noise, jumping up and down, saying this and that. Today is a decision day. And I have decided, just like Joshua will say, that myself and my entire house will serve the Lord. This is where we are going because of this A, B, C, D interest. That will be for our own good and your own good. In that kind of setting, you will just be shocked what you will see as a result. That person giving instruction, if he was also captured to be part of the general structure you are seeing, you will now have the real structure. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So it's like that. It's like that. So you have a pensioner that have not been paid, but his son have been the one taking care of him to ensure that any day that he has an appointment to go for checkup, he brings his car, he pays the bills, he ensures that his drugs, everything is intact. And then the father, whose pension is not being paid, being owed, who ordinarily will have gone to vote for a Peter Obi, that person that is taking him every day to go to hospital, to pay his what, and do on the day of the election, he still pick the Baba in his car and say, Baba, yo, you vote this person. And the reason is because the person you are voting has promised me A, B, C, D. And if I get there, you are also there. Baba have not been paid pension. He's grumbling, he's angry. But on that day, he has not gone to vote because there is a remote control somewhere. That's why I was saying we are getting there but we are not yet there because of the Nigerian factor that we are in, the kind of environment we are. Until we automatically and finally get to the electoral system, where people can, in their phone at home, just press whatever you want to choose, you will find out that that influence will reduce. But you will now see that, okay, now I give another example. The model of election in our Nigeria context is secret ballot system. But I know of places that you will see election going on, and an imam or one head of a village will have a seat and is well seated to monitor who you are voting. And nothing happens. You will be shocked with the kind of result you will get from that kind of polling unit. And it's still happening in Nigeria, even though it's a secret ballot system. So the structure must cut across, in summary, the structure we're talking about must cut across all status, all facets of the society, the collection of people in the society. Opinion leaders, you must be able to capture them, woo them to your side to be part of your structure. Opinion leaders, religion leaders, community leaders, youth leaders, aside the general audience that you are already thinking they are for you. You must have critical stakeholders, this is what we call them, that will be part of you. So that you will now do what they call the finishing. Because in most times, election is conducted, you are winning in the morning, but suddenly in the afternoon something happened, and in the evening you are hearing different kind of tone. Because the real player have come to muzzle and show that they are in charge of their environment. And if you have such people as part of your structure, you can go to sleep. But if you don't, you will do the real work, and yet the result will be amazing and shocking.
Okay, with that being said, there is this other issue that we have in Nigeria where we have, even though Solo asked earlier, but I would like to ask maybe like a big question to that. We have 16 parties, 16 political parties, and there are some that we don't even know about. There are some that the masses don't know about. And you mentioned Al-Mustafa, and I think most people know about him as a presidential candidate this year out of curiosity, and maybe because of the atrocities he committed, you know, in 1993, 1998, and so on. But he's in the AA Action Alliance. Then we have so many of them too in other parties, making 16. But now, if you narrow it down, we have just few that we know. Aside that, the youth of Nigeria have been crying that we recycle leaders, we bring the old people, and even the argument is that the old people have more experience, and that's why we push them to, you know, come as leaders. Even when they go back, they still come. And if you look at it, all these people that we've been mentioning from different parties, they've had a very great manifesto, they've had a very good, let me say, curriculum, which they have grown over time, and you can't take it away from them that, yes, they have the CV to really go ahead with any political ambition that they have. If you narrow it down now, I would like to pick one political party, which is a Young People's Party. Nigerian youth have been crying about not so young to run agenda. We want to put someone that will rule us, someone that is young. This is our chance, you know. We've been saying we are the leaders of tomorrow, and this is our chance. But you see that even the youth are not even looking at the area of the YPP party. Our interest is more of the fight between this popular political party. And we said this is our problem. Why can't we, as you, it's not like I'm standing now for the YPP. Yes.
So, I'm waiting for the question anyway.
I'm not standing for the Young People's Party. But I'm just saying, if we're always crying hell that, okay, we want the young people to be, to rule us in the country, and we have a Young People's Party, why can't the youth look into that to say, okay, let's push. If actually we are bringing someone now to represent us and he's coming out in that party, let's see how we can push. Do you think, do we have a problem even as youth youth in Nigeria? Or do you think is the leadership that has affected us so far?
Well, I'm confused. Confused in the sense that the question was well explained to a point that you have even explained certain things that I don't know what to say anymore. But then, we are going back to that issue of structure. The youth are complaining, but the question is, do they have the structure? That's it. I made a presentation to a youth group. It was actually Nigeria Youth Yaradua Center. And I said, we are really not ready yet to get it done. The youths have not yet decided not to be a walking tool, not to be instrument in the hands of the old folks. They have not yet decided. What we are doing is talkingism. We are busy talking without action. Politics is not theoretical. It is a practical game. If anybody tell you, write books, do all sorts of presentation, and then it ends there, you ain't going to get any results anywhere. It's a practical game. The youth are clamoring up and down. They want to get this done. They want to get this done. First, without getting involved into the activities, the internal activities of the political parties. You have to start from there. At the world level, who is your local government, who is your party chairman? Is one old Baba that have been there. And nobody is ready to challenge him to say, this time around, because we are the population, this Baba have been trying, but we want him to be at home and be giving us some kind of guide while we lead from the front. You make sure the world chairman of your party is a youth. You will make sure that the officials of the party form the majority percentage of the youth. The same thing should happen at the local government level. The same thing should happen at the state level and even at the national level. Only when the youths are seen doing this, I will know that we are ready for it. Because the question is, who decides the flag bearer of the party? The last time I checked, Nigeria does not have independent candidacy to vie for an election. You must come under the platform of a party. And year in, year out, we have seen this party deciding who flags their flag. And then we'll go and sit down, and then sometimes I even said this verse, the chapter in the Bible called the Book of Lamentation was actually written by Nigerian youth. Because we'll come back and then lament. And then we want the same scenario to change. I told them, I said, you are all seated here. They were drawn from the 36 states, including FCT. And I asked, how many of you are ward chairman or local government chairman of your party, whether APC, whether Wawa? Let me see them. I think we only had 3 or so who stood up in that event. And I said, you are not ready. Okay, look at what played out at Eagle Square. Jack Rich came up with a poem. Because that day I was forced to call him a poet. He gave all the poem, gave all the wah, and had no vote at the end of the day. And among the delegates, there are youths. You know why they couldn't vote Jack Rich? There are people that even first and foremost made them delegates. And these people are not youths. Who pays the BIPA? The takes it to. So, at the party level, you have you see how old is Abdullah Adamu, for instance. And then check the secretary of the party too. Check organizing secretary, the man from, I think, Sokoto. They are all old folks. They sit and decide who fly the flag of the party. So, how do you want to change this? By just talking. the time they are doing congresses of electoral party, of a political party in Nigeria, APC are doing their, go there, fight for it, and make sure you put all the youths in the hands of appeal of the party. Because we have the larger number. If we really mean it, we will make sure that all ward chairmen are youth, including that of the local government. Because the guideline are suggested by all party constitution is that these officials of the party must be elected. Even the ad hoc delegate must be elected. But in most cases, they don't do it. They will just sit, write names, and then say, this person has been assassinated. This person will write his name. This is, at the end of the day, they will tell you they have finished the election of their party, and because the constitution have given the party that constitutional mandate to select their own official on their own, whatever they submit to INEC, nobody question it.
But most times the argument is that these young people can't really, when given the power, they can't really deliver because they don't have the experience, and that's why we bring the old folks so that they can keep leading.
I take exception to that, because I will ask somebody to give me an example, and when you ask for the example, they will just mention 1 or 2 people. Yeah. In the population of about how many million people? Then you use 1 or 2 persons and you tell me this is it? No. There are youths that are doing well. And to even contravene that, when was Yakubu Gowon when he became Nigeria president? Was it an old person?
But you always argue that that
no,
was
but all of them that are old today. Okay, Bukola Saraki was the governor at what age? Yeah, Abla Adamu was the governor at what age? No, I'm not even going to Yahya of recent time.
Okay.
Dem Ahmed Lawal, dem Obasanjo was head of state at what age? If it was working that time, that young men like them, none of them that have attained the place of position today, that was an old person at that time, what has changed? What has changed?
Maybe the money involved.
What has? It is them that have hijacked the process. And have refused to allow the youth to come up. But to say that you don't have the capacity to deliver, and I said no. Look at us, look at me today. Am I an old person?
No.
I am delivering in my mandate. Go to FCT and ask for Public Complaint Commissioner. And then there are so many other youths like that are doing well. So when they say it's old folks that must deliver, they have it. I don't understand.
Well, so before you go ahead with your thoughts, I would like us to take a break now so that we'll, take a breather. When we come back, we'll continue with the discussion on the show. And just remember that we are live on Facebook and on YouTube, and we are ready and available to take your comments. So you should send your contribution or comment, opinion of what you think on the topic presidential candidates. And we are looking at the way forward for Nigeria. We are even looking at the agenda of these various presidential candidates and also the running mates. So let's take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is a special edition of today's live, and it is on the June 12th show live. And happy Democracy Day to Nigerians. My name is Joyce Iyakwari, and I have still Solo in the studio with me, and also our guest, Honorable Ezekiel Dalhatu, who is the Commissioner, Public Complaints Commission, FCT Abuja. And we've been discussing the presidential candidates. We even looked at the party politics and how some parties are more popular than the others. And now we're even moving into the agenda of the different presidential candidates. And I think I already mentioned one, which is the Labour Party. You know, his agenda is more to the grassroots poverty. He wants to see how he will bring up the structure from the people living between or within the poverty line, even some students. And he also has some agenda, that we'll mention when you start the discussion. So go ahead with your question. Okay,
now talking about this 16 candidates or thereabout that we have, they are dishing out their agendas, what they want to do for the country. And I believe that is what they are using to sell. Earlier you mentioned something like that. But looking at them, like everybody is talking about delivering in dishing out good leadership. They are talking about security. They are talking about infrastructure, talking about business, talking about education, and talking about true federalism. You know, you will see like almost one repeating itself from the other. And then I just want to draw it, narrow it like this. You know, we have had all of this campaign, you know, for God knows, you know, all this while that we have been dealing with politicians. Do you see anything different from all of them? Or can you just give your thought on each of them, the few that you can?
Anyway, I have not actually laid my hands on the blueprint of their agendas. But just like you said, we hear them in the media, on radio, people talking about what they will do, which is very, very normal. Every politician, no politician will come and say, anyway, I will think of what to do if I'm voted. You must have something to present on table in a bid to war the electorate, in a bid to appeal to their consciousness to actually vote for him. Yes, antecedents have shown, and record have shown that over the years, some of them will say all of this, and then at the end of the day, they will not deliver on the mission statement they actually put forward. And then we have also seen that some of them actually will also try to see that they meet up to. So particularly myself, I don't get swear with whatever beautiful bride you present as an agenda. I don't get, even though it's part of what we should be very concerned of, because it shouldn't be nullity, like they say in law, where you put something on nothing. It has to be on firm foundation, and then we have to see what you have to offer. So people are very eloquent. They have a lot of ability when it comes to eloquency, to put words together, and then everybody is just going gaga. But then get it done. You know, record over time have shown that some of them don't really get it right. So I will be more particular with everybody's antecedents than what you come to tell the general public.
You know, because during the primaries, we hear some saying they will build on their they will build the legacy of whoever they are taking over from. For instance, I'm picking Tinubu now. In his agenda, he talked about leadership. He is going to build on what APC is doing. You talk about security. You talk about infrastructure. So, and that's what we are getting, and that's what even the party itself presented to the masses, you know, before now. And then someone is imagined on that party. Looking at it from that angle, what's your take?
I have also had some conversation around it, where some people will say, if he's saying he will continue what the president is doing, then it means we're going nowhere. That is another opinion. That's why I say it's a kettle of different fish. But whatever it is, if we are to discuss the candidates, for instance, to say what does this person has to offer, well, I won't be in the best position to start doing that, because nobody have paid me for it, and I should not be marketing candidates for whatever reason. But what I will say generally to Nigerians is that these people did not fall from heaven. They belong to a community, they belong to a state, they belong to a local government. None of them have emerged now as candidates that was not something before. So we should judge them by what they have done. That is my own take. Let's judge them by what they have done. Put it side by side to juxtapose what they will do. You know, the future is very, very important only when there was a history, when there was a yesterday. So that's why I use that word nullity, that you can't put something on nothing. There must be something before you will now bring another thing to put on it. So let's check the antecedents. Let Nigerians this time around think differently. Know by what somebody, the other government that have come and gone, and even the present one, there are so many things they have said. In fact, some of them will even come and disown their own statement simply because they know they didn't meet up to the expectation of and the yearning of the people. Premise on what they said, not what somebody wrote to them to go and say. Some of them will even come and say, actually, I was gotten out of contest for not meeting up with. So to me, as an individual, if you say this agenda is beautiful, let me tell you, some of these politicians and then some of these aspirants and candidates, they engage the services of consultants. They engage the services of consultants. By that I mean, you can have a very fine team. When I say fine team, competent team of consultants who will sit and put to paper wonderful proposals for you that you will not even, you have never even thought of it. What you will only do is to rehearse what they told you. So if you judge, if you want to vote by what somebody have presented to us as agenda, not the antecedent and his capability over time that you know, then we'll still get it wrong. Because we'll be doing the same thing to expect different results.
If we're always going to judge by what they have done before, are you saying someone that is inexperienced coming to, go for the seat of the presidency and he has not been there before, he has not done anything, he wasn't even maybe a governor of a state, we shouldn't vote for that kind of person?
Yeah, when you talk of a president of a nation, excuse me, experience matters.
So that means we'll always
And
keep having the recycled leaders.
Listen to me. And the experience we are talking about is not the experience of him being president before, or experience of him being governor before. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. The experience must be that even at the lowest level of whatever capacity, he has held a position of leadership and has delivered. He has experience. And such people is like a seed that if watered will germinate and bear bountiful fruits. But someone that has never tested position of leadership, all his life he's just doing his business, or maybe he's just there, he has not, then you want to give him a president of the nation. Excuse me. We are not talking about National Union of Road Transport Workers president. We are talking of president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So we must look at, that's why I say we have to check the antecedent. For you to even vie, to even have the confidence to say you want to go for a president, you must even have what you will tell people that you have done, you've been able to do as part of your achievement. It's not a tea party. It's not where, okay, let notice me, let people know that I'm here. Then you go and do your town hall, your town meeting election and vie for it. Leave us alone, because it's a serious business to be Nigerian president. I remember General President Obasanjo once said something. I was privileged to be there with one of my bosses that went, and it was just a chat. And he said to be a Nigerian president, it has to be somebody who has the sagacity and the capability not to sleep more than 4 hours in a day. And I was shocked that as Nigerian president, to sleep more than 4 hours in a day is not possible. Mentally, physically, experience-wise, educationally, emotionally, it must be sound. Because you will get to a situation where anything they ask you, you say you are not aware. So when you say we should discountenance experience, maybe the person is very eloquent, he say he can do spirit, does not just play out to become Nigerian president. But the spirit is, I have been able to. So we should judge you not by the cover of the book that you are flashing, but we have to get the contents. What do you have to offer? Are you capable? Are you indefatigable? Or you are just there? So that's why I said, like you mentioned, El Mustafa, there are so many other persons who also want to, like Kachiku, the owner of Root TV, then Sowore and the likes of them. So these are people, unlike before, you will not even know. But the society is getting more aware now. Okay, like people will say Peter Obi is very popular in the social media. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Twitter. All. Does that translate to a result at the polling unit? There are this majority of youth that the only day they will go for party will be the day of that election. They rant here. But when it comes to them, they are there doing party. So you must translate that, convert it to votes, physical votes. Just like I keep telling people, you see prayer, they do not count prayer points at the polling unit. What they will count is vote. Be a prayer warrior, and then you are not mobilizing anybody politically. You are not even concerned whether people are going to register for their PVC or not. All you are saying, we need to pray for this nation. Let's pray and have a good leader. Let's keep praying. You are not talking about go and get your PVC and ensure people, you are monitoring it to see that people are getting it. And then get them aware of what to do, who to vote. You keep saying pray for the nation. It's not bad. Pray. Let's get... Prayer will not be counted at polling unit. It is the votes that physical human beings have come to cast.
Well, even as we wrap up on the show, there's this question I would like to ask. The INEC, that's Independent National Electoral Commission, had given political parties up to June 17th to submit the names of their candidates for national elections. That's talking about federal lawmakers and even presidential, and even the running mates for vice president. Now, people are saying if these presidential candidates are able to pick their vice presidents to an advantage, it will give them an advantage to win. For example, if I'm a presidential candidate and I pick a VP, a running mate that maybe the people love, or someone that has built himself over the years, or someone with a good manifesto, or someone that has done something great, then I have the advantage to win. Do you think you stand with that on that same point?
I'm sure you are just trying to be diplomatic. But what you want to ask me is, does the vice presidential candidate matters in this election? Whether as a Christian, whether as a Muslim, whether as a Northerner, whether as a Southerner, this is the conversation that is going on. Politically, just like we talk about structure, you must use what they call bite. People who do agriculture or the fishermen, there is something they call bite. They will just put something like a worm on the hook and throw it in the river. You know, the fish will come thinking, we have gotten some gain, let's eat, not knowing there is something attached to it. That is how politics work. You must let people have confidence in you and believe in you. You must let people have a stake in whatever you are doing. They must have a stake before they will stick their neck and fight for you. If you are a presidential candidate from the South, and someone tell you that just give the VP from South, it doesn't matter, it depends on his competency, depends on what he can offer, you are lying to yourself. Because what becomes of the Northerner? And if that divination is something people are looking at, if that narrative is so peculiar and so important and so epoch, that a Southerner cannot still give a Southerner VP. It has to be from the North to balance up. Nobody should tell me that religion does not matter in choosing the VP. I hear people go about saying, the insecurity today, the killing in where, is he only Christian? The suffering, is he only Christian and Muslim? Excuse me, it matters. The Nigerian society is a secular one, and the major religion we have is Christian and Muslim. It's just going to be fair. It's just going to be very, very balanced when you have a Muslim as a president and you have a Christian as a vice president. Nobody should tell. You are talking about competency, that all you need is, it can be Muslim, but let's have competent people. So are you not telling me that the entire Christian we have in Nigeria, you will not get one competent person? It's not possible. So it matters a lot politically so that you will balance your team and everybody will get to work knowing that I have a stake.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Sambo, do you have any comments even before we wrap up on the show?
Well, I would just say happy democracy, Nigerians. Just get your PVC. It is very, very important.
And our guests?
Yeah, on my own is pray with your PVC. Pray alongside your PVC. It's instrumental, it's important, and it's needed.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, viewers, for tuning in to watch this segment of today's live, the special edition on the June 12th show. And remember that voting is not done on social media. It's not done on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. You have to be physically there to cast your vote. And remember to go out there, get your permanent voter's card. If you have a problem with it, make sure that you've rectified it even before the time for elections. Elections are forthcoming, and that will be in 2023, where we make the decision to put people in power, the people that will move this country, be it in the presidential, even in our lawmakers, even gubernatorial, anywhere you think about, we have to make the decision to put someone out there. So I just want to appreciate you for viewing today, for watching. My name is Joyce. I did this with Sambo, and we had Honorable Dalhatu Ezekiel on the show with us. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned even as we have follow-up of the programs coming up for the June 12th special. Happy Democracy Day, Nigeria.